in living color from New York and my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's Sunday Night Live with the late Joey Reynolds Show, the world's first triple cast on radio, TV, and internet. Big J Sorensen, who are Joey's guests tonight?
Thanks, Shotgun Tom Kelly in Los Angeles. Tonight on the late Joey Reynolds Show, direct from America's Got Talent, Joey's got comedian and actor Stephen Scott. From L.A., world premiere media expert and best-selling author Michael Levine. Three-time Grammy-nominated singer, songwriter, and actor Ryan Shaw. Both straight from Comic-Con in San Diego, stand-up comedian and celebrated cartoonist Jason Chatfield, along with comic book writer, editor, educator, and commentator, best known for his longtime stint as editor of Marvel's Spider-Man comics line, Danny Fingeroff.
And now, here's Joey!
Swing, Joey, swing!
Burn, baby.
Joey Reynolds Show.
What a show. Really?
All right, that's Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons. That was recorded in
Whatever
it was. and we're going to salute him a little bit tonight because I'm going to try to do the show from L.A. next week.
You're going to try?
We're going to try. We have to see if we can technically do it. First of all, we have to ask KABC if they want us there.
Yeah, true.
Because the last time we were there, someone stole a few things, like the microphones and the phones, so they didn't have a format for it. They were lip syncing. But remember the money last week that I had tried to buy
you're going to buy
ABC
Cumulus,
with?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what everybody did? Folks, you know that money? First of all, they didn't take the offer. Jay, show them your ring, Jay.
There's my ring.
See that?
Can you see that? Zoom in on
Zircons.
that. No, that's real diamonds.
Oh, yeah, sure.
No, it is.
Neil diamonds. That's what they are. Come on. You don't have any money?
If I hit you with this, you'd have my initials on your forehead forever.
Yeah, well, just like I have the mark of the beast. I've got that already. We were at 66, WNBC. It was 666. Remember that?
I know.
Or was it 666? Then I was at WIOD, which is We Are Idiots on Drugs. And I went on the religious station, WIBG, I Believe in God.
Well, yeah, that's
and
true.
WKBW is Well-Known Bible Witness.
Yeah.
They all had significant names.
I know.
Very Christian.
Yeah.
So I wore a burqa. I was very, very
That went
popular.
over big? That's good.
Speaking of going over big, are we still playing this music under me?
No, I don't know. It's all
That's
right.
the London Philharmonic. That Bob Crew recorded this theme for me in lieu of payola.
Yeah.
I should have taken the money.
Probably. Yeah.
My father called me Schmuck. That was my middle name. All right, so anyway, we're on the air with this show every week, and Spirit Airlines, which has never failed to surprise anybody, had something happen that you probably will have to wait till the Tonight Show tomorrow. First of all, after Colbert gets tired of talking about Trump, you're going to be waiting a long time for that one because they think they're getting ratings because they're talking Trump. And then you got the other guy, late night. But, they all talk about politics.
Mm-hmm.
We try to avoid all that because I'm trying to be an alternative.
Yeah.
Now, what I was thinking is the Spirit Airlines story. This is true. Yesterday, someone got on the plane in Las Vegas. Did you hear this yet? And he took his clothes off. he went on the plane nude. So they of course
had to divert.
No,
to
not
something.
at all. No, they charged him for a change fee. That's Spirit.
That's good. That's funny.
So, we have a different kind of a society now. Everything's upside down.
True.
Nothing's where it belongs.
No.
And everybody's really crazy. I think I saw, who was it that said that the Earth, the moon it doesn't have anything in the middle of it? What is it?
Some act.
What's his
who
name?
was it? I saw it today too.
Yeah. I know we keep reading. So these are all pop stories.
I know. Yeah.
And we're caught up in that, and we have a society that really lives off of gossip more than information.
Yeah, true.
We're paying attention more to what we think of something as opposed to what really happened. And we talked about this before when we had Marvin Scott on the show. His son's going to be here today, Stephen Scott, who doesn't like to be known as his son.
He hates it.
Marvin is I think he is probably the best journalist in New York. I had to pause on that one because I'm going to get in trouble. But he's really a journalist. He talks facts, and a lot of people just do gossip. Now, we're living in a society right now where this week, if you want to gossip about something, you got to gossip about transgender.
Yeah.
Now, what that's about is about men becoming women, women become men, joining the armed forces, which, hey, listen, if someone wants to pick up a gun, it doesn't matter whether they have a weenie or not. I mean, it has nothing to do with it. The thing is that they are going to go ahead and have this operation at the expense of the military. Is what that's what was said. I don't know if that's necessarily true because Bruce Jenner. Now we kind of lost. What's his name again? They gave him another name. The woman's name they gave him.
What's
Jenner? Why do I ask you things you never know the answer to?
Because I don't pay attention to it.
Caitlyn. Remember Caitlyn?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah. So we have here. We're trying to be transgender. I went into a ladies' room.
You're trying
today.
to be transgender.
I am. I went into a ladies' room today, and I left the toilet seat up. They don't like that. It's like someone squatting on our urinals.
So where are you supposed to put
they
it?
don't want that.
You're supposed to put it in the middle, then.
Who knows? I mean, there's a Olivia Newton-John. Yeah. There's an Elton John, and then there's the other one. Which is the Mathis John. But we have different kinds of sexuality these days.
We do.
Everybody got here because of this.
Yeah.
Sexuality, I mean.
Correct.
Not because of being trans.
And a man and a woman, yes.
And we got on the air with us Michael Levine. Now Michael is from L.A. And L.A. is probably more outraged than New York because they have more people who are. We're liberal in New York by reputation. We're liberal, and in L.A. they're just crazy. And Michael Levine is on the phone with us right now. He's a media expert. Yeah. He's managed to make himself the PR guy of the stars.
Yeah.
He had everybody from Michael Jackson, Joan Rivers. He's had everybody.
That's right.
He would never handle me because he as I said, he has big stars.
Right. Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth.
Is Mike on the phone with us now?
He is. Yes.
Mike.
Hi, how are you, Joey?
I'm good. I may do the show from L.A. next week, so you'll have to come out to KABC. Will you come over there?
I would be happy to, except I'm going to be in Israel.
Don't we always hear this every time?
They're always going to be somewhere else.
Yeah, like Stephen Scott's supposed to be here tonight.
Next week I'm in Israel, so that would be a very long commute from Israel to KABC Radio.
I did my show from Jerusalem a couple of times. We were at the Jerusalem Post. And, of course, I made it to Tel Aviv, and we went to the Dead Sea, which was where I swam, to bring a little life to the place, and then I went to Masada. So I had a great time in Israel. I love Israel because I had everybody on the show who I had a Rastafarian. I had a guy who sells the only non-kosher wine. He's Israeli, and they have wine that's not kosher. It's called Kestel wine. And David, who has the cheese cave, as opposed to Oliva, which is in Little Italy. But I've been through all of that with a lot of guests. When you have a 5-hour talk show and you have people on the air all the time, like you were there with me, Michael.
I was.
It's long form. This one here, this one here is like for this generation. So what I'm going to do to appeal this generation is put some holes in my jeans, at my knees. I'm going to have a 3-day growth on my beard.
Right.
And I'm going to wear my hat backwards.
And you're going to look at your phone the whole show.
Oh, yeah, of course. And text.
Yes.
During sex.
Text yourself.
Yeah, like I did. So, Michael,
Yes,
back to
sir.
you. We have you, and I'm sorry you're not going to be live next week from L.A., but we'll do it another time.
Okay.
So today, what's the latest thing that's happening in your life?
Well, in terms of my life and my professional life, what's really absorbing me right now is this going on this trip to Israel, where I'm going with a number of important political people, and I'm going to be very fascinated by what I discover, I have no doubt. About this transgender issue in Hollywood, I think you wanted to know what the reaction of the entertainment industry was to Donald Trump's announcement. And, you are right that New York is very liberal, but Hollywood is not very liberal. It's very, 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 very liberal.
You think?
And you would think, Joey, if you watch the reaction, particularly in social media, of the entertainment industry after Donald Trump made his statement about transgenders not serving in the military, you would think, emotionally it felt like he had just spoken to a Jewish audience and pledged his undying allegiance to Adolf Hitler. They're so outraged, so angered, so incensed even at the conversation that it really indicated where the Hollywood community comes from.
Yeah.
Politically and emotionally.
Well, you know, the films always reflect the way,
Right.
in one way or another, whether it's documentary, and even incidentally, you know, Michael Moore has a show on Broadway right now. You know that, right?
Absolutely, right. And by the way, I represented Michael Moore.
Yeah.
And to show you what a political independent I am, I represented Charlton Heston and Michael Moore.
At the same time?
Wow.
No, not at the same time. But that's a pretty big swing, right? To go from Charlton Heston to Barbara Streisand, from Michael Moore to Ted Nugent, I think that's a pretty good swing.
That's
well, you
pretty
know,
good.
it's about your work. Your work is not. I mean, you could be a transgender publicist too, because you don't care about sex.
Well, what I care about is trying to tell clients what they need to hear, not what they want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, when you represent celebrities, there is a tremendous pressure to tell them what they want to hear. And so if they walk into a room and they say, you know, Michael, I think the world rotates on the back of a turtle, most people who are in their employ say, really? I love turtles. Very few people have the courage to stand up to somebody who's a celebrity and say, that's an idiotic notion. What are you talking about?
Well, look what happened to Elvis Presley.
Well,
if you think about it.
look at the word intimidation. In the middle of that word is timid.
Right, timid, right.
And
Now,
intimidation
I don't know
is the
why
result
I
of it.
began that journey in speaking truth to power, but it served me pretty well. I try not to be rude ever. I try to be always respectful and even deferential to people I work with.
Until the check clears.
Well, that's true. But I try to tell people what I really believe and what they need to hear, not what they want to hear.
Right.
So there we are.
Well, why don't you represent me?
I would be honored to represent you. I think you really are a radio icon. You are an original. And by the way, the reason you're iconic is that you are an original. Now, what is an original? There's no one like you. Name for me, and anyone listening to this, name for me anyone on the radio that is like Joey Reynolds. And the answer is there isn't any. It's just an original.
Just accept it.
All
It's
right.
hard for Joey to accept that
Thank you.
sometimes. You know?
How about on the TV part?
As a TV personality?
Well, yeah, we're on TV.
I think you raised something very fascinating earlier when you said that you were a long-form content producer. I was on your show many times, and it was very long-form, which was part of its beauty and originality, but we're living in a very short-form world.
Yeah.
The attention span of people today is beyond minimal.
Yeah.
And the curse of distraction. You know, I feel like I'm talking to people today, when I'm talking to them even on the telephone, I feel like I'm talking to them and they're not listening. So if they say to me, Michael, how are you? And I said, well, I actually have just been diagnosed with cancer. Oh, great, that's fantastic. They're not listening.
No.
How was your night? What'd you do last night? Oh, actually, I attempted suicide. Oh, fantastic, great. They're not listening.
We're multitaskers also. We
that's
try
what
to
it is.
do more than one thing at a time anymore.
Correct.
All right, so I got to go.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Because we're short form. We
Great.
love you, Michael Levine.
I love you, and thank you for the high honor of talking to your very valuable audience.
Thank you. All right, we're going to be right back. We'll take a little break again.
Yep,
here.
and we do. And the Late
Thank you,
Joey
Mike.
Reynolds Show is brought to you by TiedInMedia.com. Tied In Media takes the most successful brands, e-tailers, and millennialpreneurs to the next level. Visit TiedInMedia.com. It's TiedIn Media.com.
This is Sunday Night Live with the Late Joey Reynolds Show.
Today, I will help save a life.
Today, I will make a positive impact on my community.
Today, I will network for a cure.
Today, I will become a go-giver.
Together, we will make a difference.
Our mission at pinktide.org is to bring the business community together to support organizations that have a direct impact on our community. Join a growing movement that will contribute $100,000 to local charities each quarter. Visit pinktide.org and join us in making a difference.
Life in Plainview is about to get sweeter. Plainview Chocolate Works will be opening their sweet doors in July, offering premium Belgian chocolate delights. Get a mouth-watering candy selection to satisfy the most sophisticated sweet tooth. Oh, this is sweet. Have the ultimate party experience inside a hands-on chocolate studio. Plus, get custom-branded chocolate gifts that will take your personalized party favors and corporate gifts to a sweet new dimension. Plainview Chocolate Works creates one-of-a-kind 3D chocolate sculptures, customized gift baskets for any profession or occasion, dipped to perfection platters, handmade truffles, and more. You'll love giving back to the Long Island community with chocolate charity, as 5% of your Plainview Chocolate Works purchases are donated back to pinktie.org. Their efforts support charitable organizations in the local community. Learn how your purchases are making a difference, and real soon, details about the Plainview Chocolate Works grand opening date and festivities. Call 516-252-3855 or visit pinktie.org/chocolateworks.
Transportation for the Late Joey Reynolds Show provided by Matt Silver's Ultimate Class and Limousine Transportation Worldwide. 516-935-4444. 516-935-4444.
You found a true variety show with Sunday Night Live, audio and video. It's the Late Joey Reynolds Show.
Yeah, I wanted to have a little bit of a transgender conversation with Michael Levine because I think why New York is the way it is because we have kinky boots. You know, and that's Feinstein's play. You know, I mean, he wrote that. Cyndi Lauper's in it. But who's that kid that gets all the accolades now? He's a singer. What's his name? Ryan. How are you? Ryan Shaw's here. Ryan, who's in Kinky Boots? First of all, the star of the show is that guy who's a transgender. Is that right? Have you seen Kinky Boots?
I have not seen the show.
Oh, I've seen it. I love the show. I think it's great. Yeah, it's not about shoes. That's Steve Madden's jail sentence. But this is the other thing. Ryan has been in Motown, you know, the Motown show on Broadway, right, Ryan? Is that right? Yeah. And you were, what part did you play? You're too young to be one of the tops.
I originated the Stevie Wonder role.
Oh, yeah. Well, that you could do. You got dreads.
Yeah.
Stevie used to, you know what he used to do? I used to have him on my show in Buffalo years ago when he was first starting, and it was Little Stevie Wonder, he was called at the time.
Yeah.
And it was Everything is Uptight. And, so I decided to make a product for the black community, which was a do-rag called Uptight. I figured you could wear an uptight.
Yeah, but because it was a cool
But Barry Gordy didn't think it was very funny. And they still don't. But, you know, also Stevie Wonder had, at that time, he was just, he's obviously blind, you know, and he used to wave his head back and forth, and he would get brush burns from the dreads.
Oh.
You know, this is no good. He's also friends with Shotgun Tom.
Yes.
Who's our friend.
Our announcer
in
in
LA.
LA.
The In-Star
the
sidewalk
Hollywood Star
celebration.
Yeah, the Walk of Fame.
So Stevie's great.
Yeah,
I love Stevie. And he owns a radio station.
He
too.
does, yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's doing better than we are. But we love Stevie. So now Ryan Shaw is currently wowing the audiences in New York. He's a great singer, and he's had a big experience and a very good-looking young person. So we don't want him here anymore.
No.
I've asked for older people so I can look younger. That's the secret. So Ryan, why are you here tonight?
Several reasons. The one, I'm working on some new music.
Yeah.
I actually started a band with some friends of mine that we have a showcase, a residency at the Iridium Club in Times Square. And, yeah.
Well, the Iridium was the home of Les Paul, you know.
Yeah, I know.
And it's in the basement of Ellen's Diner.
Yeah, we just did our first show there week before last.
And you have a band? Really awesome. You have a band?
Yeah, the band is called Ascension. Yeah.
That sounds very religious now. This comes from your Christian background, right?
Yeah, it comes from gospel.
Well, it also means another level. And so, you know, it's just some friends of mine, and we used to always sing together. Some have been on Broadway, some are touring musicians and drummers that play for other artists. And when we're in town, we just was looking for a place to jam and hang out. And so the Iridium Club offered us a residency, and so we're there once a month.
I went to a Christian concert. I went to see Fish at the Madison Square Garden.
Oh.
Different kind of fish.
Oh,
exactly.
Oh, I thought it was communion. So you got this band, and what's it called again now? The Ascension?
Ascension,
yeah. And you did the Motown show for a long time. You were
Yeah,
in that for
I
a long
did.
time.
I started with some of the readings, and
Yeah.
we did the workshop, and I opened it on Broadway and did the full 2 years.
Great show. That's a great show.
It was a lot
I
of
love
fun.
it. And
A lot of
it
fun.
came after Jersey Boys, you know.
Yeah.
Then we opened it up with a little bit of Beautiful, which is Carole
Yeah,
King.
Carole King, yeah.
And I think there's an Elton John one in the wings
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, we
There's
had
a lot
done-
of
Sure, yeah.
a lot of the stuff. The one that didn't make it was my show on Broadway.
And what was that called?
It was called the. Well, I don't want to tell you the name because it's a Christian broadcast.
Oh, okay.
But it was a lot of crap.
And you also played in London on West End doing Michael Jackson as well.
Yeah, there was a musical there called Thriller Live, and it was a pretty great experience. I loved living in London. It was a really, really great experience.
Do you dance like that, right?
No, I was one of the voices of Michael. There's no moonwalk in these legs.
Yeah,
so.
because that's an unbelievable thing. You're a little bit too bulky for that, you know. He's very skinny. I mean, Michael is
Yeah.
very skinny. You know,
Yeah.
we're friends with his chef
Yeah.
from Neverland.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh, wow.
Johnny Chow. You remembered something.
It's shocking.
It's about time. I keep telling him, stay off of Jeopardy. You don't even know the category.
I can't even figure it out.
His wife's listening, so I got to be nice.
You really.
All right, so Ryan, are you living in New York? Is that it?
Yeah, I live in Harlem. Yeah,
Where?
133rd in St.
Don't
Nicholas.
give your address. I mean,
No, I won't give the exact address, but around St. Nicholas Park is where I live.
well, that's a great area.
Yeah, it's really,
Sugar
really
Hill
cool.
is nice. I lived above Patsy's Pizza, and we had no heat. So what I did was I had to wait till they sold 200 pies. You know, I was upstairs.
Cut a
hole in the
I would order pies just to get the heat turned up. You know. Then I moved over to Rayos. I upgraded myself. But I'm a Harlem guy. You know, if anyone ever stole my car, I always thought it was great. I parked my car in front. I said, if they steal it, they're going to have to return it here anyway. It's going to be right in front. But I loved Harlem. I think it was very cool for me to live there because we gentrified it. You know. And what that mean was made it expensive for black people.
Yeah.
Now, what I did was I was going to open a gentrified chicken place.
Really?
I thought, yeah, but I never did it.
For good reason. Probably, but yeah.
Are you going to sing for us?
Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, really? Can you
Yeah.
hear okay? Are the headsets okay?
Yeah, I think they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do? What are you going to sing?
It's a song from my second album called Real Love. It's the title track from my second album.
All right.
All right, let's
Is
go.
there a little story behind it, or you just want
Uh,
to jump in here?
no real story behind it. It's
Okay.
just a simple sentiment about what you do when you find love.
Uh-oh. Here's Ryan Shaw.
Yeah. It's like rain in the desert. It's like finding a treasure. Like stumbling in the dark and someone shines a light. I've never seen such a beautiful sight. And when you find it, nothing takes you higher. There's nothing like a real love. You got to have it. You got to have it. And baby, when you feel love, oh, you never let it go. You got friends in your pocket when there's money to spare. But when all the money's gone, no one is there. So take a look deep down inside. 'Cause when you find it, nothing takes you higher. There's nothing like a real love. You got to have it. You got to have it. And baby, when you feel love, oh, you never let it go. It's like rain in the desert, like finding a treasure after searching in vain. But when you find it, nothing takes you higher, nothing like a real love. So you got to have it, you got to have it. And baby, when you feel love, oh, you never let it go. There's nothing like it, yeah. Got got to have it, yeah. A real love, a real love, real love, a real love. Oh, oh, got to have it, yeah. Got to have it, yeah. Got to have a real love, yeah. Oh, baby, real love.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's why you get standing ovations.
Yeah,
That's great.
really.
That's great. Isn't it awful to sit here and not have applause after you do that? I mean, all that energy that you put into this, and it's wonderful, and yet I guess it's like the videos on MTV, you know, they just end.
Yeah, they just don't.
And there's nobody
fade out
there,
and
no
go.
audience.
Yeah.
So when we move into our new space, which hopefully we will, we're on 17 here, which is our old space on WABC. Well, we will probably have stage for entertainment like this, I'm hoping. And you'll come back and we'll have to pay you?
No.
Got that on tape?
Yeah,
He
really.
said no.
Have it on tape.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah, you know, I can always tell that there's just a gift that you have, and you can't deny it. It's a gift. It doesn't matter what show you're in. You're that kind of a guy. It doesn't matter what. I mean, you could be Peter Pan. It doesn't matter. But it's the way you are.
And to go from gospel to secular it's got to be a tough thing in a way. But
that was tougher, mostly emotional.
Really?
Dealing with, because families from church and you're going to hell, and they didn't really say that much. You get that.
No, then you move to New York, which is hell.
Wow.
Yeah. Right after Georgia. But driving through Georgia and getting stopped for speeding is also hell.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, hell is a lot of locations.
Hell is situational at this point.
Ryan Shaw and the Ascension.
Right.
And you're seeing them at the Iridium. When are you there?
Our next date, we actually haven't gotten solidified, but if you just check their website, the Iridium, NYC, and you can find the next.
I have a feeling you're going to pack it after that.
Oh, of course you will. Now, does Steven Tyler produce that album that you just sang that cut from?
No, that was Jimmy Braylauer.
Good, great.
Yeah,
You're in good company.
And Johnny Gale.
And Johnny Gale. Johnny Gale's great.
Yeah.
You know, but you see, you're in the top shelf because you deserve it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Thank you.
And I'm so privileged to have you here.
Thank you. And they can check it if you also want to check the date. They can follow me on Instagram. This is Ryan Shaw at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Why is it This Is Ryan Shaw? Because someone else had Ryan Shaw?
No, because when I signed to Columbia, someone else had Ryan Shaw, so they was like, This Is Ryan Shaw. And then they actually named my first album This Is Ryan Shaw because it was kind of catchy.
Yeah, that's why I was Ringo Starr, and someone made me change my name. Because they discovered I had talent. We'll be right back. Was Steven Scott here?
Yeah, let's put him on now. Can we put him on now?
Wait where you are. Steven Scott is on America's Got Talent.
Yeah, he was.
And he's our shining star right now.
Oh, awesome.
You know, hey, Steve, are you there, Steven?
I'm in Israel, Joey, with Michael Levine.
Oh, you must. You know what? Stay away from the locks.
Then I had to go.
So we were going to have you here live, Steve, but you know what happened? We didn't tell you about the time change in New York to 7 o'clock.
No, I had no idea at all. And you know who's really lucky tonight? Whoever has the 9 p.m. slot on WABC Radio. One hell of an audience tonight.
Yeah, because he told everybody he was going to be on at 9 o'clock.
Oh, that's good. Well, at 9 o'clock, there'll be some fool dentists.
Week I have millions of people who actually give a crap.
Yeah, I know.
These things happen.
Now, you were terrific on America's Got Talent. You know, I've been a champion of yours for a long time.
You have.
And I often said that you belong on television. And you got there. You were on NBC TV. And, Russ Markowitz, who is here producing the television portion of our show, he works at NBC, and he was forced to watch you on a good station.
It's online, right?
Yeah. So you're great.
It was a really special experience, and I hope we'll have the chance for me to come in and talk about it as we planned, because it was really, only a little bit of it aired, but it was like hours and hours of footage and a couple of trips to LA over several days, and being on the Universal backlot and filming on sets where they made famous movies. I mean, it was really
No, wait. Let's go back. All right, let me just take you on a trip.
Turn the tape back. Go ahead, do it, Steven.
Let me do it back. Go ahead. Do the rewind, Steve.
In the beginning, there was Simon Cowell.
When I was at 20th Century, I was
Cowell here. Stephen had millions of people watch him this week that would love to have listened to your show, but it got screwed up. Sorry.
And then there's the Trumpster this week with the transgender. I'm sure you got material.
Something, Joey. I need a new communications director. I hear Jay Sorensen's fantastic. What do you
Good one. Very good, Stephen. Very
That's
good.
great. Well, Scaramouche, you got one of my own kind there. You know?
Scaramouche?
I thought it was
How about that?
I ordered it in Little Italy yesterday.
You did have that Scaramouche. Very tasty.
So you're a TV star now. We have to treat you a little differently.
Yeah, we do.
We're sending a car. We
No more pranks. No more kick me signs on the back of my shirt. Okay, fair enough.
No, we're going to pick you up in a Pinto hatchback.
Oh, nice. I'm moving up in the world.
Are you in Jersey right now?
No. I am. I'm in Jersey. Fortunately I brought my passport, so they let me in. And I am in New Jersey. But listen, I'd love to come into the city. We'll do this again, and we'll do it properly and sit down and be there with you guys. It's always fun to come in. And I'll look forward to it. It was an exciting week, and the show aired on my birthday. You couldn't write that in a script, so I had all my 25 of my closest friends and Friars all watching at the club the other night, and it was a real treat.
Friars. When he says the club, which one do you mean, Dangerfields or Friars?
Friars Club.
Okay.
Yeah, we had it on. I was having my birthday dinner, and it just happened to be on that night. And so we watched.
We're talking about doing the show from the Friars Club, which you are going to co-host with me. Remember, we're going to push Jay aside.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. We'll probably do that in early fall, so we'll definitely make that happen. And good things. I mean, it's a lot of 12.6 million people watched on Tuesday night. Then it re-aired on Friday night, and then there's already 750,000 hits on YouTube. It's pretty. I think more people have seen me in the last week than have probably seen me in my entire career.
But but more people love you from here than they do from there. There's people toss numbers around like the $1 trillion that this country never made money. Let's put it on the line here, all right? I don't know why we always try to balance a budget. There's no such thing as balancing the budget. What are you, crazy? They never balance the budget. Nobody's ever come up to pay anything that they belong paying in this country, ever since it's been here. Even with King George, they stiffed him out of the money. So, we don't really have a number that works. But yet everybody's tossing these numbers around. I had 27 hits this week and, on the charts. I had 4 zillion people listening to me and watching me. Why are we so conscious of how many people watch us and look at our website? That doesn't mean that they've retained anything. It doesn't mean they feel anything. It means nothing. It's just a click.
Yeah. Statistically, it's never proven
but
that
to all
numbers
the
or
people
strings
who
have equal dollar
advertise and the
signs.
people actually spend money and sponsors, they get all wet and tingly over those kind of numbers.
Wet and tingly. I haven't heard it put that way.
Well,
that's good. I like that.
Not since Phelps. So there's a tough thing going on here, and I wanna address it. All right. Sure. I was the guy who opened the Universal Park because at that time I had the #1 company for PR in Hollywood, and Sid Sheinberg and I at MCA, which was at that time Universal did not own NBC, and they were owned by MCA, was a company. And I was the guy they hired to do the promotion for the opening of the amphitheater and the tour. When we started the tour at Universal, which is where you were just bragging about this wonderful thing with that hotel that's upstairs on the hill there, the tour had a little pond with a wooden shark in it. That was called Jaws. Yep. And they had a decrepit old house, and they called that the Psycho House. And they had a tram that took you into a working studio, and you paid $5. If I could have gotten $5 for that ridiculous shark and that stupid house.
We should take him in here and let him walk around.
No, America is so dumb. There are people in line waiting for cookie dough.
Oh, yeah.
And I mentioned this last week, I think, on the near NYU. There's a place that has a line across the street, and you get a number like you're going to win the lottery, and it's ice cream, cookie dough ice cream.
Very strange.
What are we doing? I mean,
it's funny, Joey. One of the cool things was when we were filming scenes, because I'm from New York, they wanted to film scenes of me back home in New York, but we're in LA, so they had me on the Universal backlot on the New York street.
Oh, God, no.
Fake.
Now, who had a better one was MGM in Culver City. It turned into a car lot. But, it used to be the best scenes because they really built the sets. And you know what they used to use in those days? Just to mention it for a moment here, if we're going to have a little film history. To make it nighttime, they had canvas tarps. But the cameras were huge and overheated, and the lighting was hot. So you had to take space, you know, and it was really tough to make a movie if you're Jimmy Stewart or any one of those MGL, The Wizard of Oz. You know, I mean, those films, they were tough to do.
Sure.
And they did a lot in the back lot. That was the Andy Rooney house, or Mickey Rooney's house. What did he call himself?
Andy Rooney. You ever notice how people?
They mix up Mickey Rooney and Andy
that's
Rooney.
Andy Rooney, yeah. So anyhow, Stephen, next week I'm going to try to do the show from L.A. You want to come with me?
Love to come with you. Will they pay my ticket? I'll go out.
No one
Gladly
gets
be
paid.
there.
He already said that before.
Yeah, we said this already.
Yeah,
I guess we're going to have to give you some of that money from Spirit Airlines that they've been stealing from bags.
Wow.
Actually, Joey, you know what we should do? You and I should do a road trip across the country, film the whole thing, and then at least we'll kill two birds with one stone. We'll sell it as a movie or something.
It'll kill Mike Cave's wallet. That's what it'll kill. He's got the pink tie. See, you can't touch that money because that's charity. You know, I mean, it goes to charity. Yeah. But I was trying to convince him that I have a fund. It's called Joey's Kids.
At least the ones he knows about.
Yeah. Wow. Well, now wait a minute.
Settle down.
So, Steve, I love you. I'm so happy you were on that show. And you know what? You were very, very good and funny, and you look great.
Thank you. That means a lot, Joey. Thank you.
And your material is great. And I didn't like anybody else because they all suck next to you.
There you go.
How about that
the comments online have been great. Some people said, "Oh, he's the best comedian all season." Some people are, but who knows? Maybe there's some wild card spots.
No,
I've heard about where
you and Tom Carter and Ray Jessel are three of my favorite stars that have been on that show for the last couple of years, and you're all very, very good. See, I don't like judging people. I think we got to get out of that business. And those four are so untalented. What the hell are they doing, finding fault with somebody when they couldn't do it themselves?
You know what it is? Comedy is an art. Subjective. It's subjective, and it's like saying which flavor ice cream is better, chocolate or vanilla. You know what I mean? So that's where the judging with art, I find, is a weird thing because it's so, it's a subjective thing. It's not like who crosses the finish line first. So I feel the way you do about that, but the reality is, in today's world, I mean,
Well, we've made today's world. We're the ones who make the world. You know, I mean, this is not your world. It belongs to God. You don't belong to this. You're only an employee. And so am I. You know, you got a gift. You got a talent. It's a gift from God. It doesn't come from anybody else. And like Ryan over here, I mean, his gift is from God. It doesn't come from Ryan Cowell. It doesn't come from NBC.
We just are glad to have the opportunity to share it with as many people as possible. And you know what? Back in the day, and I said this to the judges on the show, in Howie's day, you did the Tonight Show, and the next day you were a star.
Yeah, true.
Hey, it's not like that. You do late night shows. People don't know who you are. But this show is like 5 Tonight shows.
All right, now wait a minute. Wait. Do you think of me as a star?
I do, yes. I can't speak for everybody else.
Good save
It's
there.
not how many people watch you or listen to you. It's about how you are.
True.
It's your relationship
really is.
with the inventor of the universe. It's got nothing to do with you. You don't have any. You can't vote on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could vote for myself. I went to live rounds. I could vote for myself.
And I think also I liked Howie Mandel when he was wearing that latex glove over his face. That was funny. Remember that?
I know. I think he punctured his. He somehow in his nose he punctured his deviated septum or something, and he was not. His doctor told me he couldn't do it anymore.
Wow.
He actually injured himself putting a rubber glove on his head.
Too much cocaine. You got to be careful. Anyway, I love you, and I'm glad you're going to be on with us again because we consider you family.
Yep.
All right.
Likewise, Joey. Thank you so much, and I'll bring some fun pictures, and I'll tell you some good. It was good to see my old pal Tyra again, who I haven't seen in 15 years from our Jamie Foxx. She remembered me, so I was really flattered about that, and I'll tell you all the little behind-the-scenes stuff that you didn't see in the couple of minutes that I was on the other night, and I look forward to doing that with you.
Thank you, boss.
All right. Give me a Trump goodbye.
Joey Reynolds is the greatest guy in radio. He's going to be my new Secretary of Radio, folks. He's fantastic. Okay, we're going to build a wall around Jay.
Yeah, right.
Great.
Around me.
I think I'm going to vomit.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Thank you, Stephen. The Late Joey Reynolds Show is brought to you by Leap EDU. Become part of the high-paying, fast-paced New York real estate industry. Call 844-303-5327 or go to leapedu.com.
This is Sunday Night Live. with the late Joey Reynolds Show.
Social media is the marketing sensation. Every day, there are over 1 billion likes and tweets around the world. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and others have taken over as the #1 form of communication. Take advantage of this phenomenon. Talk with TideInMedia.com about building a vital social media strategy. Go to TideInMedia.com. That's TideInMedia.com. They'll help guide your business through social media, web development, and marketing. Building your brand and taking your business to the next level is what Tide In Media does. Many of Tide In Media's clients have been featured on Fox News, People Magazine, MTV, and other top-tier networks. The most successful businesses are leveraging the internet. Follow in the footsteps of the late Joey Reynolds Show and visit TideInMedia.com. That's TideInMedia.com. Or call Tide In Media today at 844-373-8433. That's 844-373-8433. And tell them the late Joey Reynolds Show sent you.
Are you in debt? Can't make your monthly bills? Are you making your payments but the balances aren't going down? Bankruptcy might be right for you. Don't be fooled by debt consolidation. The process is expensive and can take as long as 5 years. Debt consolidation is a business. Bankruptcy is the law. Go now to nybankruptcy.com. Schedule a free consultation with a duly licensed attorney. Don't put your financial life on freeze for 5 years. Start rebuilding your credit in as little as 90 days. Debt settlement? Most people can't settle their debt because they don't have the money. Bankruptcy is your fresh start. Go now to nybankruptcy.com to schedule your free consultation. Your financial life will be reviewed by a duly licensed New York attorney. Each case must be reviewed and there are rules that apply. Not all debt is dischargeable. Not all people will qualify. Bankruptcy is not the end. Bankruptcy is the beginning. Visit nybankruptcy.com today.
You can listen on air or online. Plus, watch the late Joey Reynolds Show right now with streaming video at SundayNightLive.com.
Jason Chatfield, come on down. Great to have you here. He's a cartoonist, I think.
And a comic.
I guess we don't call it a cartoon. You're a character.
Yeah, no, cartoonist is the correct terminology, yeah.
Oh, you have something wrong with your voice? You sound very...
Oh, my Lord.
Is that
He's from Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a disease.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
You got the down under. I had that once. Never got off the turlet.
Wow.
But it's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
And I love Hugh Jackman.
Well, he's a good friend of mine. You know, there's only 9 of us down there. We all
Yeah,
live
I
in the
know.
Sydney Opera House together.
I know.
Small place.
I thought you were living with R.M. Williams in the Outback.
Oh, yeah, with my hat.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it. And the leather pants, the moleskin pants.
Right, exactly.
Very good in Florida. No breathing. You know, I was in Florida all week. It's 105 degrees.
Oh,
Was it
my
the other
God.
day.
Wow.
And indoors, fortunately in Florida we have air conditioning everywhere. You know, so it
Right.
works. But in New York they turn the heat off during the certain hours. You know, in Florida we keep the air on all the time. We kind of like our, you know, I mean it's a thing here about landlords.
Yeah.
Where do you live, Jason?
I'm down in Alphabet City. I got a hell of a landlord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, do you mean just day to day?
Yeah, well, that's what we're. Yeah, well, nobody wants to hear about what you do for your cartoons. We're not looking at them, are we?
Well, yeah, I mean, I do stand-up by night, and I'm a cartoonist by day. I live in a 4th floor walk-up down in Alphabet City, and I work out of home. Everyone in my building's an artist, so it's never a dull moment.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm out doing 2 or 3 shows a night. I've been doing that for 10 years in June.
Wow.
And
Or at
it's-
Gotham? Are you at Gotham?
Yeah, I'm there tomorrow night, 7 o'clock show, Monday night.
Aren't
Yes.
they the same guys who have the Metropolitan Room?
I think they might. It's either them or the guys who own the stand. I think have
Yeah.
the Metropolitan. But yeah, it's Christmas Eve.
Well, it's reversed. That used to be Gotham. The Metropolitan was Gotham, I think. at one
Oh, I
time.
think that's yeah.
You know, they did something very strange at that place. There was a stand-up. I went at midnight one night, and they changed to a Spanish format. You know, went to
boy.
Latin format.
Yeah.
In the middle of someone's set. You know, and they changed the table tents and the language. Well, we already paid our 2-drink minimum. You know? So they got us the hell out of there, and they went right into the Latin thing.
We
I
should
mean,
try that here. You know,
yeah,
we
well,
should
they
just
do that
all of a
here.
sudden-
Yeah.
Buenas noches, ¿cómo está la tuya, hombre, mi brazo?
In about 10 more minutes, you're going to hear a foreign language on this show, on this station. They're going to sell polkas. This is unbelievable. It's a bowling show coming up. Danny Fingeroth is here, too. Danny, how are you, Danny?
Okay, how are you, Joe?
Now, Danny, I got a game for you. I got the superhero game. Danny was with Marvel, and, of course, for all those years, he did Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you familiar with this here?
I guess you haven't. Not that exact game, but
that's the Chutes and Ladders.
That's Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, Bud. He's got radioactive blood.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows Spider-Man. No.
There's about 27 people on Times Square that think they're Spider-Man.
And one of them is.
And there's only one naked cowboy.
Only one? I would think there'd be more than one naked cowboy.
No. He's got
the
trademarked
it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he's been on the show with me here a couple
He
of
has?
times.
No, he's been on
I've
every
known
show,
him
yeah.
forever. I've known him when I used to see him at the gym.
Wow.
He was very buff.
Yeah, I'd say.
And I told him, we had him
He
here.
better be, because if I went out there...
I was going to say,
Yeah, really.
we're putting Jay in spandex. It's going to be the centerfold out National Geographic.
Very nice.
Finally, Times Square will be quiet.
Yes.
Thank you for the game, Joey. It brings
Chutes
back
and
many
Ladders,
happy
right?
memories. I'm writing a biography of the co-creator of Spider-Man, of Stan Lee.
Oh, he was great. Now,
Yeah.
the Comic Con, which is
I
half that
got
word's
back.
true.
Yeah, me too.
And so did Jason, yeah.
Oh, what'd you do over there?
I was at the National Cartoonist Society booth. I'm the vice president of the National Cartoonist Society. So I was there doing drawings and signings and doing demos. Yeah.
And if anything happens to the president, he's there to rush in and take over.
That's
not
right.
the president of the United States.
No, the president of the National Cartoonist
Yeah,
Society.
if he gets impeached for any reason, I'm
That's
there.
it.
But that's the same thing. If you're running a cartoon organization, you could live in Washington very easily.
Whoa.
The White House. There's a lot of Comic Con going on there.
many
Mostly
places.
con.
Mostly con, yeah.
So, yeah, that's the big 6-day extravaganza, 150,000 people. And
It wasn't that way when we started. Remember
a
years
little
ago?
smaller, yeah. It was about 300 people in 1970.
Yeah, and I first signed up for Uber a couple of years ago. Remember they had a little booth there? They didn't have
did
a
they?
franchise yet.
Oh, no.
And I got their T-shirt and I signed up for their service. And they had one
Whatever
car.
happened to them? I mean,
Yeah, well, they got outrageously big, but Comic-Con was where they kicked off.
I didn't know
True
that.
story,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
It was in the front,
Right.
in the entranceway of the Javits Center.
I'm doing a smaller Comic-Con this coming weekend in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
I'll be at the Wizard World Columbus. So if you should be in the Midwest, or now you want a reason to go to Columbus, it's going to be a bunch of movie stars, TV stars, and some actual comic book artists, writers, and I'm doing all sorts of panels with them and having them tell their secrets.
Just stay off of the amusements. If you're going to
yes,
Columbus.
that's
I mean, that was a tragedy this week, and they reopened today. They reopened
Oh, they
it
did?
again, except for that
That's
one,
right.
that flash ride. Whatever.
Horrible.
No, come to the convention where it's safe.
and they have the Billy Island Cartoon Museum.
That
as
is
well.
the greatest comic book museum, comic strip museum in
Yes,
the world. It's
fantastic.
on the OSU campus.
People don't realize how big comic books are. My son is a comic book, just loon almost, He'll go to these shows and spend, big bucks and then resell them for even bigger bucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he'll get somebody in a garage that has like a bunch of comics, and he looks at it and goes, doesn't give in, that he doesn't give a notion that it's worth a lot of money, but sometimes he'll buy a 50-cent comic and it's worth $300.
Right.
Right, especially if it's somebody who's just passed away and their family just wants to clear the stuff out. They have no idea what it's worth.
Precisely.
Well, who did you used to read when you were a kid?
Mad Magazine.
Of
Oh,
course.
that's not a comic.
Yes,
book.
it is.
Yes,
It's
it is.
comics.
It's
It's
a comedy.
comics.
Yeah, it's comics.
It's
the
satire.
best.
It's satire.
I mean, you didn't read any comics? Did you read? I
grew
like
up
the
in
Marvel comics.
Yeah.
But I also like the classic ones.
Yeah, the older
All right,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah,
They don't
they're
do
called
that
those
anymore.
silver.
They
don't
do. They're still somebody will always put out.
Silver
They may
Age. Yeah, the
not.
Silver
They may not
Age.
call it classic comics, but it's comics based on literature and they're more serious. And then the whole world of graphic novels. That's a separate world from the superhero world.
Yeah, it is.
Well, if it were not for the movies, we would not have the theaters anymore with the comics bring. I mean, everybody had Wonder Woman is probably the biggest.
Strangely, you're right.
It's
That
Wonder
and the
Woman.
other comic, Dunkirk.
That's a comedy.
It's a less popular
Yeah,
film.
it is.
Yeah.
It's a laugh
$150
riot.
million to promote a movie that cost $60 million.
Whatever it takes.
What a
Hollywood.
game. But we're into money. Everything's money.
Yeah.
I mean, Stan Lee didn't look at money at the beginning of this thing, did he?
Not the kind of money that they're seeing now,
No.
but he was doing it for a living. Sure, he's been
But he
been
was
doing
a
it.
cartoonist.
He was an editor, writer, cartoonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a modest guy. He was trying to just make everybody happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? The banks got in, and the Wall Street got in, and now all of a sudden it's an industry that is way.
It's massive.
It's over the top.
Well, if people didn't love that stuff, it's also consumed a lot of other genres. Like there's cowboy style superhero movies and science fiction and romance. You know what I mean? Everything's under the umbrella of superheroes now.
Yeah.
But you can tell a lot of different stories.
Is that only because they want to get younger people to see it? Because, I mean, there's no movies for older people anymore, it seems.
That's not true.
Well, it seems.
It seems that because you don't go to them.
Well, there's a lot of streaming TV that's really very good. You know, the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, the Glow Show was shockingly, incredibly good. You know, and lots. I think it's where people are getting anything that maybe is not a big tentpole genre movie.
How long have we known each other, Danny? It's been about 10 years?
About 15 years now.
Is it a long time?
I think I came up here, yeah.
And you first had a book at that time. Which was
I was Superman on the Couch.
Yeah.
And Ted Ferrone brought me up.
Yeah. These days, that would consider to be pornography.
Well,
you know, we don't have.
Well, we can hope. You know.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of reading anymore in books, do we?
The book is still in print, so somebody's still reading books.
But mostly it's cartoons. It's cartoons and it's downloading and Kindle, of course. But what are we doing with our cartoon lives?
Jason, what are we doing with our cartoon lives?
What are we doing with our cartoons?
I don't know.
Well, it's the live action movies, it's the superhero movies, and everything is a cartoon now. Much of our national landscape is kind of a cartoon now, so it's cartoons have taken over everything.
I think it's the simplicity of cartoons that appeals to people too. You know, because life is so complicated. It's a very reductive art form. You can reduce things in life down to a much more simpler form, like the New Yorker cartoons and comic strips in newspapers and comic books.
Well, there are some countries when there are political upheavals, the first ones to go are the cartoonists.
That's right. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we're not allowed in Russia anymore. They closed. About 2,700 people had to move out of there now.
Right.
You know, well, that's serious stuff. Put that on another show.
Put that on Sirius Radio.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jason. You're going to be at Gotham tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock Monday night.
And you'll be in Columbus,
I'll be in Columbus, Ohio this weekend. Come on by.
Let a smile be your umbrella. Don't get a mouthful of rain.
See you next week.
Thanks, Jim.